Good evening, everyone. I've entitled this video "In Times of Sadness." We all go through times of sorrow and sadness in our lives, and sometimes when we are sad, it's because life has dealt us something that we are having a hard time accepting. We've all had Job experiences, right? Remember when Job's three supposed friends came to him, and they weren't very good friends, were they? Sometimes the people that you think are your friends end up being your enemies. But sometimes you have to just realize that God brings these things into our lives to cause us to turn our eyes on Him. There's a song that says, "Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in His wonderful face. The things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of His glory and grace." A number of years ago, it was probably, I don't know, maybe, I'm thinking I was probably about 28 at the time. I had an event happen in my life that was really striking. I never will forget, I was walking around this lake, and I'm not going to go into the event, but this event happened in my life, and it really shook me. And I came to the realization that for the first time in my life, that there are some things beyond our control. There's some things we're never going to change. There's some things that are set in stone, so to speak, and there's nothing you're going to do to change it. When we were young and naive, we thought we had the world by the tail, so to speak. We could do anything. And then after I got married and reality began to set in, it was a shocking experience to go through. And I'm wondering, how many of you have had the same experience out there? Maybe it was a family member passing away, or maybe it was a child getting sick, or whatever you've had to go through. I went to school with a man that was very athletic, much more athletic than I've ever been. He was very athletic. He was a runner, and he became a chiropractor, and he was really into health and wellness and everything else, and ran in marathon races and all kinds of stuff. And he died. I don't know, it's been about, 8 years ago maybe. Relatively young man when he died. Died of cancer. I was shocked about that. Sometimes the people that God takes are the ones that you would think would live a long time. And then sometimes the ones that live you'd think would die a long time ago. There's no rhyme or reason to it, I think God brings these things into our lives to wake us up that we don't have control. And like I said this morning in the video, when Mark was reading the book Phillips versus the State of Missouri, all the things I went through and all the retaliation I got from the homosexual community, I've gotten more retaliation against the Armenian community than the homosexual community. Can you believe that? People that call themselves Christians have been more retaliatory against me than the very homosexual community that I came against. Because I've come against the Armenians as well. Because they're teaching another gospel. They're promoting the doctrine of free will, which does not exist. It doesn't exist, folks. I remember the first time I read through the first chapter of Ephesians. Blew me away. Blew me away. Why did they never teach the first and second chapter of Ephesians all the way through Christian school? Predestinated unto adoption, chosen in him from the foundation of the world, working all things after the counsel of his own will. Why did they never teach me Romans 9? Hath not the potter power over the clay? Why did they never teach me John 6? All that the Father hath given him will come to him, and all that come to him he will in no wise cast out. Why did they never teach me John 17? He hath given him power over all flesh. Why did they never teach me that? Because they were deceivers. They were deception. Deception was in their mouth. Have you ever heard a evangelist get up and proclaim the election of grace? I sure haven't. Do you ever hear Kenneth Copeland proclaim election? Or Oral Roberts? Or Benny Hinn? Or John Hagee? Or Adrian Rogers? Well, that's what's been on my mind tonight. So if you have a sad period in your life, just realize that God can show you that he has a purpose in all things. It's hard to believe sometimes that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord and them that are called according to his purpose. It's hard to believe that. Only God can give us the faith to believe it. Sometimes it doesn't seem like things are working together for our good at all. But we don't know all things like God does. May the good Lord be with you tonight is my prayer. God bless.